Finland pays its citizens to relocate to dying villages, enshrine the right to walk across private land in law, and holds an annual National Day of Failure, where professors stand in front of their students and publicly confess their worst professional mistakes. None of that is exaggeration. Every single one of those facts is verifiable and real. Here are 28 facts about Finland that sound fake but aren't. The Finnish legal system enshrines a right called jokamiehen oikeus, the everyman's right. Any person, citizen or foreign tourist can walk, camp, and forage on any private land in the country. You can pick wild cloudberries and mushrooms from someone else's forest. You cannot cut a living tree or disturb a nesting bird. The landowner has no say in the matter. It is written into national law. Roughly 50 heavy metal bands exist for every 100,000 Finnish citizens. The country has over 2,700 registered acts, which gives it the highest heavy metal density on Earth by a significant margin. The contrast with Finland's reputation for reserved, quiet culture is jarring. A speeding ticket in Helsinki is not a flat fee. Finland uses a day fine system, where the penalty is calculated as a percentage of the offender's daily income. In 2002, a Nokia executive was fined 116,000 euros for riding a motorcycle at 75 kilometers per hour in a 50 kilometer per hour zone. The formula is set by national law, and it applies to everyone equally. Every October 13th, universities across the country observe the National Day of Failure. Professors stand in front of their students and publicly share their worst professional mistakes. The explicit goal is to normalize failure as a necessary part of innovation and learning. Some rural municipalities will pay you to move in. Lehtiharvi, a town in central Finland, has offered grants of up to 10,000 euros to families who move there with children. Minimum stay requirements apply. The offers are legally binding. The Republic of Finland shares a 1,340-kilometer border with Russia, the longest of any European Union member state. For 75 years, Finland maintained strict military neutrality. That ended in April 2023, when the country formally joined NATO, fundamentally shifting the security architecture of Northern Europe. Finnish is one of Europe's most linguistically isolated languages. It shares almost no vocabulary with English, French, German, or Russian. Its closest living relative is Estonian, close enough that a Finn and an Estonian can sometimes hold a rough conversation. The connection to any other major European language is essentially non-existent. No other country on Earth has a higher lake-to-land ratio. Finland contains roughly 188,000 lakes, which works out to approximately 1 lake for every 26 people. Large portions of the country's interior are more water than land. There are more saunas in Finland than cars. The country has approximately 3.3 million saunas for a population of 5.5 million people. The Finnish parliament has its own sauna. Business deals are routinely negotiated inside them. The sauna is not a luxury here, it is infrastructure. Students in Finland consistently outperform most of the developed world on international assessments, with fewer classroom hours and no compulsory homework in the early years. Children do not begin formal academic instruction until age 7. Education researchers have spent decades trying to explain the results. The legal system is strange. The culture underneath it is stranger. Helsinki's municipal framework includes a network of underground tunnels stretching over 400 kilometers beneath the city. Inside that network are data centers, swimming halls, a church, and emergency shelters capable of housing the entire metropolitan population. Finns call it the Shadow City. The bedrock beneath Helsinki is exceptionally stable granite, and Finland plans accordingly. Every year, a small town called Sonkajärvi hosts the Wife-Carrying World Championship. Competitors race through an obstacle course while carrying their partner upside down on their back. The prize is the wife's weight in beer. The event has official international rules, a governing body, and qualifying heats. It is taken seriously by the people who win it. In 1906, while still under Russian imperial rule, Finland became the first country in the world to grant women full political rights, including the right to stand for election, not just the right to vote. 19 women were elected to parliament the following year. Most of the world would not catch up for another generation. The concept of takut has no clean English translation. It describes a tradition of communal unpaid labor, where neighbors gather to help one another complete large tasks, such as building a barn, harvesting a field, or clearing land. It is not charity. It is a social obligation, and refusing to participate without good reason carries genuine cultural weight. Teachers in Finland are required to hold a master's degree. No child is ranked against peers or given a formal grade until their early teens. There is no national standardized testing for younger children. Getting into a Finnish teacher training program is roughly as competitive as getting into law school. Suomi's tax authority publishes every citizen's taxable income once a year. On a specific day each November, anyone can walk into a tax office and request a fellow citizen's taxable income. Journalists use this to publish national income lists. The wealthiest earners are named publicly. This is not considered a scandal. It is considered transparency. Between 2017 and 2018, 2,000 unemployed Finnish citizens received €560 per month with no conditions attached, no requirement to seek work, no means testing, no bureaucratic check-ins. The government ran it as a controlled experiment. Participants reported improved well-being and better mental health. Their job-seeking behavior did not decline. The results were published and debated across the developed world. Military service is mandatory for men, lasting between 165 and 347 days, depending on the role. Finland maintains one of the largest reserve armies in Europe relative to its population, about 280,000 trained soldiers who can be mobilized within days. For a nation of 5.5 million, that number is deliberate. Silence between strangers is not awkward in Finland. It is considered polite. Speaking without a specific purpose is seen as disrespectful of the other person's time and attention. There is a Finnish saying that translates roughly as, "If you have nothing to say, say nothing." This is not shyness. It is a cultural value with deep roots. The average Finn consumes roughly 12 kilograms of coffee per year, the highest per capita consumption on Earth. Finnish law once mandated 2 paid coffee breaks per workday. The legal requirement has since been absorbed into collective bargaining agreements, but the breaks remain standard. Coffee here is not a preference. It is a workplace right. Those facts describe a functioning country. The next set describes something closer to a controlled experiment. Finland has topped the World Happiness Report for 7 consecutive years. The country also ranks among the highest antidepressant users in Europe, and records some of the highest rates of social isolation on the continent. Both facts coexist with the happiness ranking. That ranking measures trust in institutions, personal freedom, and absence of corruption, not how often people talk to their neighbors. Finland scores exceptionally well on the first set of criteria, and poorly on the second. Every new building above a certain size must include a public fallout shelter by law. This requirement has been continuously maintained since the Cold War. The total shelter capacity across Finland is sufficient to protect the entire population. The shelters are inspected, stocked, and legally required to remain operational. This is not a relic. It is active national policy. Reindeer outnumber people in Lapland. The herding industry is legally protected, and licensed herders, including members of the indigenous Sami community, have the right to move their animals across both private and state land. When a reindeer is struck by a vehicle, the driver is legally required to report it. Approximately 4,000 reindeer are killed on Finnish roads every year. Since 1996, the city of Oulu has hosted the AIR Guitar World Championship. Competitors are judged on technical merit, stage presence, and a quality the judges formally call AIRness. The event draws international competitors and even has a Hall of Fame. The scoring criteria are published in advance and applied consistently by a panel of official judges. The word sisu exists in Finnish and nowhere else. It describes a quality of extreme inner resilience, the capacity to act against overwhelming odds, to endure without complaint, and to push through when rational calculation would suggest stopping. It is considered a core element of Finnish national identity. Linguists and psychologists have both attempted to define it precisely. Neither has fully succeeded. Finland's road authority in Lapland sprays reindeer antlers with reflective coating every winter. The The program operates under the Finnish Reindeer Husbandry Act, number 848 of 1990, which legally protects herding rights across both private and state land, and it is coordinated with the Finnish Reindeer Herders Association to reduce vehicle collisions on unlit northern roads. The antler spraying program covers thousands of animals each season. During Juhannus, the midsummer celebration, Finnish cities empty almost completely. Urban residents leave for lakeside cabins. Bonfires are lit at midnight. People swim regardless of the temperature. Alcohol consumption rises sharply across the country. For roughly 72 hours, Helsinki functions at a fraction of its normal capacity. Shops close, streets go quiet. The whole country relocates to the water. Swedish is an official language of Finland today, spoken natively by a legally protected minority along the western and southern coasts. Finland spent 600 years under Swedish rule, followed by 109 years as part of the Russian Empire. Independence was declared on December 6, 1917. The linguistic legacy of those 6 centuries never left. Finland operates by its own logic, and that logic consistently produces results the rest of the world cannot replicate. If that is the kind of country you want to understand better, this next video goes deeper. Subscribe if you are new. There is plenty more where this came from.